to onto altcoins, specifically looking at the others chart here. Some of you guys might remember that I've been highlighting the fact that others is kind of squeezing in the same way that it did late last year in October, just before it saw a massive, basically 2-month melt up going into November and December. I think we're about to see the exact same thing happen here. Of course, there's no confirmation there yet, but it's looking very close, getting a squeeze. And of course, when you get this Bollinger Band squeeze, then there's basically tells you that there's going to be a huge volatility either to the upside or to the downside. And unless you believe the crypto bull market is over, which many people do believe that. They think it's over. And if they think that, then of course they would be biased and think that altcoins are now going to completely collapse once and for all. But I'm not so sure. I think that it's quite clear that altcoins have been holding this long-term support line, and they're going to bounce from that line once again, rally up to this upper, let's say, resistance line, that it's resistance level of this range it's been trading in for basically 2 years, and then eventually get above that and continue powering higher. And again, zooming out once again to the weekly, like this is looking really good in my view. Like we're getting a nice little squeeze, foreshadowing some imminent upside. And again, like if Bitcoin is going to break to the upside, if it looks like the total crypto market cap is going to break to the upside, then I don't see why altcoins would break to the downside. That wouldn't make any logical sense, especially in the context of total, unless you really believe that altcoins are going to zero and that Bitcoin is going to go to like 300,000 or whatever, which a lot of people believe that. But of course, at this stage, I'm sure you're wondering, okay, well then what is the reason why altcoins would squeeze to the upside here in the next couple of weeks? And the answer is something that I mentioned over the weekend, and that's basically all these like altcoin catalysts that we have coming up. In case you guys missed the news, Republicans in the House declared that there's going to be crypto week on the week of July 14th. So not this week, but next week. They're going to consider a bunch of crypto bills, the most important of which is the Genius Act for stablecoins. When that gets passed, which I think there's a very high chance that it will, then that will kind of open the door to the SEC creating this temporary exemptive relief framework. I think they're waiting for stablecoin regulations to get passed first before they do that. So then, stablecoin regulations are in place. The SEC then comes in and says, you can do whatever you want. It's basically in crypto, everything is completely legal, tokenized real world assets, whatever. And then combined with, stablecoins, again, they're like the lifeblood basically of what happens on chain in crypto. So you kind of need clarity, at least on that front. And then the SEC can come in and basically say, yep, everything else is fair game. And then you're just going to see, I think crazy announcements similar to like what we saw with tokenized stocks launching on Solana. I think we're going to see dozens and dozens and dozens of announcements like that. And it's not just going to be, oh, it's from Solana and some random, backed finance or whatever, like some company that no one's ever heard of. You're going to hear like Bank of America or JP Morgan launching stablecoin on Ethereum, stuff like that.